Hey, this is Nana Visitor, and you are watching MegaPodTastic.
MegaPodTastic.
Good morning, Mega Podlings. Krazy Joe at the Great Philadelphia Comic Con. Everyone who knows me knows I love Star Trek. It is my favorite franchise of all time. When anyone asks me what is my favorite TV show of all time, I always give the same answer, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And I am here with my favorite cast member from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Nana Visitor. I love this character she played so much, I named a child after her. So, hello, Nana. It's a wonderful.
Good to see you again.
Every time I meet you, you are absolutely delightful. By the way,
Thank
you are
you.
one of the coolest people I meet at cons ever.
Thank you so much.
So, I wanted to talk a little bit about the documentary.
Yes.
There's a documentary coming out May, right?
May.
It's going to get a theatrical release now.
Yes, it is. I understand it's going to 800 theaters. So I'm very excited for people to see it. I saw it in Los Angeles, and I saw it in Germany or England another time over in overseas. And there are some things that are dicey about it, but so was the show. It's everything isn't black and white. It's a little shade of gray. And the other wonderful thing they do with the documentary is you see our writers in their room breaking the story for what season 8 would look like. And I have to say, I was really pleased with that. I was like, yeah, I'm in.
Do they take the approach of season 8 as if it was the next year from season 7, or do they take the time gap?
There's time. There's
Wow.
time. Yeah.
So
I think people will find it really interesting
are
and
we all
fun.
are we going to be petitioning CBS All Access to make season 8 happen?
Well, that would be interesting. That would be really interesting.
How did you feel about a documentary? Full disclosure to our younger viewers who weren't there in the 90s, when your show came on, it was divisive. And as I always say, every Star Trek spinoff, when it first comes out, the fans call it the worst Star Trek ever. It happened to you guys, it happened to Enterprise, it's happening to Discovery now.
Yeah.
But in time, people come look at the show and realize, oh, we were wrong, this is fantastic.
Well, in our case, it took about 20 years. I mean, we had our fans, but it really took, look, we were serialized. It was a continuing story. People were used to that, and it was difficult because if you missed the time it was on and you missed the show, you had gaps in your understanding for the next show you picked up. Now that it's on Netflix and other places, you can binge watch, and serialization is built for binge watching. And I've had people come up and say, I loved it back in the day, but I really get it now. I really understand it now because I just binge watched the whole show again. So, there's that.
There was a moment on your show where I realized this would have never happened on The Next Generation. And it was the moment we found out Dr. Bashir had been kidnapped by the Dominion, and for a month we had been watching a shapeshifter impersonating him.
No, I love that. I love that storyline. I wanted it for myself. I thought the intendant should be, Major Kira should have been locked up somewhere. And it was the intendant making the Dominion Wars happen. Yeah.
Oh, that
I
would have
love
been
that
amazing.
storyline.
So, you guys, Next Generation, which is arguably the most popular, they don't get a documentary. You guys get a documentary. Like, does that feel like our time has come finally? Like we're getting our due?
Well, Ira Stephen Bear just pushed this project uphill, and bless him for it. It's been years of interviews and thinking nothing would happen with it, but you know what? I was always so happy to sit down and talk to those guys. I love all the people connected to the show very dearly, so it was always a party. Anyway, and that it actually got done and that it's going to get a theatrical release, I'm thrilled.
Now, one thing I've heard you say over the years that I find absolutely fascinating, you said once in an interview, you probably said it many times, while you were shooting the show, you occasionally had Kira dreams, like you were dreaming as the character. I find that so interesting.
Well, as we understand the neuroscience now, you know, you can rewire your brain. And think about it. I spent 16 hours a day thinking Kira's thoughts, not mine. So, yeah. And by the way, my body felt the trauma that she felt. My heart rate would be up when I was thinking about the things that I was talking about, the atrocities that happened. It was like in real time that I was remembering thoughts. I planted them there, but that didn't make them not real. They weren't true, but they were real for me. So, yeah, my brain would start processing at night all the information I gave it during the day. And it did some damage, I have to say. I'm very interested in how actors can remove themselves when they're playing roles that involve trauma now. And I study the neuroscience of an application of meditation and mindfulness, and I play around with somehow helping young actors with that. That's something I want to do.
Now, can I pick this up here?
Yeah, sure.
You have written a cookbook.
Yes.
And this is really cool. I didn't know you did this, and I want a copy of this now. Our viewers who are not here at the con, where can they get a copy of this?
They will be able to online. I have moved like a tortoise, as I told one person, getting that together. And I have some that I've scribbled in and added notes, like I do to my own cookbooks. My own cookbooks are a mess. If they're my favorite recipes have years of bits of the recipe all over them. But I believe that that's how you use a recipe book. Yeah, it's a passion of mine and always has been.
You have a line for me here. I don't want to hold you up because these people are waiting to meet you. But I want to tell you, thank you for all the years of entertainment. It's been wonderful. And the documentary, we never said the title, What We Left Behind.
What We Left Behind.
And it's just been picked up by Shout Factory, so it's going to be on Blu-ray through Shout Factory, and I believe the date is Monday, May 12th. I'll put the date down below, so if I have that date wrong, don't go with what I'm saying. Go with what's written down here, okay? So I think it's Monday, May 12th. It's getting a theatrical release, so can't wait to see it. I'm a backer on Kickstarter, and I haven't seen it yet, and I can't wait.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you, and thanks for everything you've done.
Thank you.
Keep wearing those pajamas with the plastic feet. Keep wearing those pajamas. Tell everyone you meet. Keep wearing those pajamas with the back door flap. Keep wearing those pajamas. Don't open, it's a trap. Oh no, it's a trap. Some people call them PJs, some people call them jammies. They can come embroidered with big money and no whammies. They can have 100 tiny commander Adamas, but no matter how they look, just keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep on wearing those pajamas. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now we're having fun. Keep wearing those pajamas. And now the song is done.